Gym, cardio, yoga. Among these three exercises, which is the best exercise? Would you do a cardiovascular exercise if there is a specific heart condition? No, right? Absolutely not. And similarly, if a person is overweight by around 20-25 kilograms, can we ask that person to start run a marathon or do some dance or Zumba and do some skipping and jumping jacks? No, because it's going to create injury to the knee. So what exercise and how much would you do would also depends upon what kind of injury would you have. If you're completely ignoring the aspects of flexibility and yoga and just doing only weight training, for sure you will look muscular, but your flexibility will completely go for a toss, and that's not healthy. A gym workout versus yoga, which is better? Or maybe let me introduce a third one, cardio. Gym, cardio, yoga. Among these three exercises, which is the best exercise? Let's differentiate between these three and see how does each of these exercises impact our body. Now, it's important to understand that among these three exercises, all these three things, ceteris paribus, will have a positive impact on the body. Now, but the way this positive impact is on the body varies from one exercise to the other. Let's take cardio. Cardio, as the name says, is for the heart and lungs, cardiovascular health. Exercises include all those exercises which involve panting and gasping for breath. So running, swimming, cycling, playing badminton or dancing, Zumba, Bharatanatyam. All these exercises are cardiovascular exercises. Cardiovascular exercises are good for heart health. But would you do a cardiovascular exercise if there is a specific heart condition? No, right? Absolutely not. And similarly, if a person is overweight by around 20-25 kilograms, can we ask that person to start run a marathon or do some dance or Zumba and do some skipping and jumping jacks? No, because it's going to create injury to the knee. So what exercise and how much would you do would also depends upon what kind of injury would you have. So cardiovascular exercises are good for heart health, but how much would you do and would you go start with the cardiovascular exercise will depend upon all these parameters that I mentioned. Second exercise is weight training. Now, weight training, also known as resistance training, are exercises which involves a lot of muscles and muscles being used. An example would be going to a gym and lifting weights. Now, my classic example that I keep saying is that a dumbbell curl, very easy to understand. If I take a dumbbell biceps curl and I'm doing a biceps curl, the biceps muscles on my arms is what is actually facilitating this flexion, and these muscle fibers are pulling this dumbbell towards my body. When I do this for multiple number of times, these muscle fibers will go through minor tear and the muscles would end up getting rebuilt over a period of time. So muscle fiber which is broken would get rebuilt with better quality and better quantity. This is known as muscle growth or muscle hypertrophy. Now, exercises which involves weight or resistance across muscles will help in muscle hypertrophy. Obviously, your muscle growth will happen, and as the muscles becomes larger and bigger and better, your strength will improve, your metabolic parameters and metabolic rate will improve. Muscles are important in absorbing glucose from the blood, so your glucose utilization will improve. So gym workouts or exercises which involves resistance training, including resistance bands or even body weight exercises such as push-ups and pull-ups, will help in these aspects of improving muscle quality and improving body composition. But then again, as I earlier said, is weight training meant for everybody? If there is a medical condition, say for example, if a person has piles, also known as hemorrhoids, it will not be a great idea to ask that person to take a squat, take a dumbbell or a weighted barbell squat. It's going to exert a lot of pressure around the lower part of the body, and your hemorrhoids or piles might actually become worse. Similarly, a person having hernia cannot be doing too much of abdominal core bracing exercises, or maybe bent over barbell row is not something that we can ask that person to do in a gym, because it's gonna further worsen this hernia and the protrusion. So exercises needs to be again looked at it scientifically and structured with caution depending upon medical conditions. So that's the second exercise, weight training. And the third exercise that we have to discuss is about yoga. Now, if you're just doing only weight training and you're not doing enough amount of flexibility or stretching, you will be extremely inflexible. You would walk around without being able to bend down and touch the toes without bending your knees. Pada Hastasana in yoga is exactly that. Touch down your feet without bending your knees. Now, ability of our body to be flexible within the permissible levels is also a very important aspect of how fit and healthy you are. If you're completely ignoring the aspects of flexibility and yoga and just doing only weight training, for sure you will look muscular, but your flexibility will completely go for a toss, and that's not healthy. So that's where the third exercise, yoga, comes in. But yoga is a lot more than just flexibility. Yoga also helps us to bring down those anxiety levels, make us feel happier, get the mind, body, soul under control. All these aspects would be helpful if you do yoga. So typically, if a person having autoimmune disorders, would flare and become worsen with excessive stress and strain. Yoga helps in activating the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps us to calm the nerves, the breathing exercises, stretches, positioning, etc. So yoga has its benefits. Coming to the original question that I asked, between these three exercises, cardio, weight training or gym, and yoga, which of these three exercises is the best exercise to do? Well, that's a very stupid question that I asked. It is wrong to compare and say one is better than the other. Which exercise would you do will depend upon your medical conditions, your goal, and for sure, if you like one exercise, you can do that a little more, but do not ignore the other two. You would have to look at these exercises in terms of understanding the benefits that it would provide. And I would always keep saying that if you do not have specific medical conditions which forbids you from doing any of these exercises, always look for including all the three exercises so that you can get the benefits of all the three and look at health and fitness from a very well-rounded, holistic perspective. So do not compare and say one is better than the other. The best method is that we can have the benefits of all the three types of exercises.